We are back with another Wuthering Waves video. What are we playing? Wuthering Waves. We haven't done one of these in a while when I don't record off stream. I wanted to get into RINASCITA and a lot of the quote-unquote problems people are seeing with the drip marketing, with the with just the overall look and quote-unquote feel, right? So a few things I want to cover real quick. I will be doing a 72-hour stream starting Thanksgiving around 4 p.m. Eastern. I was one of the few content creators. They only chose 20. But I was one of the 20 content creators who got into the Neverness to Everness closed beta testing. And so I will be live 72 hours, YouTube and Twitch, and I will be pumping out as much content on that game as possible. I'll be playing it as long as I possibly can, and we are going to get as much done, as much information out there. I want to dissect that game. I want to get that down to a T for y'all. So just so you know, be on the lookout for that if you're interested in Neverness to Everness. Now, RINASCITA. I'm illiterate, bro. I'm a stupid American, right? Excuse me. So I might be pronouncing the name wrong, but the 2.0 region for WUWA, I'm actually very excited for. I think looks genuinely top tier, and there's a few things I wanted to discuss, and I think people are jumping to conclusions and not remembering WUWA when it initially launched. So this was a topic that came up during the podcast I did with Captain Cabinets, a bunch of other creators. There's St. Tonis, Connor's Thoughts, Ryuku Sensei, who's getting absolutely flamed right now. I got to watch that homie's video soon. I'm going to leave that in the description below, but someone brought up, I don't remember particularly who, that it feels underwhelming because this is supposed to be a post-apocalyptic game. And I've seen a lot of tweets about this. I've seen people discuss this in my Discord and my YouTube comments. So I wanted to touch basis on this because I really believe we're blowing this out of proportion. And I think that there is, my camera's not centered, I'm sorry. LOL. I think there's way too much conversation about this, and we're not really remembering the game true to form at the start of it, as well as we're just jumping to conclusions. So my first point was this tweet. I don't know who this person is, Miko, whatever it is, man. No attacking you, whatever. But so crazy, they could have had such a cool atmosphere similar to Arknights, but they couldn't even hold on to their own vision. Like, man, you can't even get anything close to this feeling in this game now. Oh, it's very loud. I don't think, and I believe St. Tonis brought this up in the conversation. I could be misremembering who it was, but 1.0 WUWA was diabolically depressing. I mean, the end of the story in WUWA, I think it was chapter 6, was just a straight up war. Whatever war you thought you were going to get in Natlan, you got in WUWA in Act 6, version 1.0. The whole story was depressing. It was super dark. There was no colors. There was no saturation. The biggest complaint about the video game was that it was too dull. And I was one of those people saying that because I still believe that. I think the world has no real life or feeling to it. But I think people are not recognizing, hey, listen, like, hold on a second. We had that. We had that off rip out the gate. And if we were to launch 2.0 with another region that looks almost similar, is just black and white colors, super like grayed over effects. It's like, I don't want this, right? And I don't think a lot of people want this. I think people don't really know how to convey their criticism or their actual concerns properly. I'm sure there's some people who literally only want this. I want post-apocalyptic. I want Fallout gacha version, right? But that is not realistic, and that becomes boring. You know, in 1.1, 1.2, etc., like, obviously, the tides and the story, the tone shifted, and there were still depressing topics and whatnot, but obviously it wasn't as monotone as something in that cutscene or the beginning of 1.0. And I think people are forgetting about it because it was 6 months ago, but we have to keep in mind, again, that's how the game was at launch. It's not like this game was some happy-go-lucky, oversaturated Neverness to Everness. Neverness to Everness, very saturated. Genshin Impact, or even Star Rail. And so with this new region, I think a lot of people did not pay attention to the trailer. This is another person who tweeted, I ain't gonna lie, this line gives me the chills and excitement. So it says, this is a place where power and wealth are held by few elite families. How are you not connecting the two, that this might be a very heavy political situation similar to what, you know, Fontaine / Penacony could have been, right? I'm going to pull up the trailer real quick. I definitely thought I had it in this tab. But if you look here to the Wuthering Waves channel, it's really not that crazy. It's still not super oversaturated. The actual it looks happy. It looks like a, I saw someone say like a ghetto fontaine, right? Or maybe I said, I don't know, like a ghetto fontaine or something. But it's still not this oversaturated piece of work that like loses the feel of Wuwa. So if we look at this right here, like it's not bad. You know what I mean? So we have like friendly things flying over with tacit discord marks on them. The sky is blue. Oh my god, it's not red. You know, this isn't. It looks happy, but it also isn't outwardly insulting your intelligence and saying everything is fine now. There's nothing wrong, and it just looks like a TikTok fever dream, right? This looks interesting. The way they're dressed. You see how you have these little echoes. I assume these are echoes walking in a straight line, like they're a part of society. Like nobody's batting an eye except the rover. They're what the hell? Like to go off and say that based on this 10, 15-second trailer that they lost the plot, I think is just jumping the gun way too much. Again, in the podcast, multiple people brought it up. It looks like Final Fantasy, it looks like Kingdom Hearts in the background. You know what I'm saying? But this they have the potential to do what Hoyoverse, I think, failed to do in Penacony. Hoyoverse did a good job in Fontaine, but in Penacony, where they can encapsulate that feeling of these rich or super powered families with high political status are taking advantage of it. And as I said, we have no idea what this land is going to look like. Maybe there's a wall around this, like in Attack on Titan, like the first episode, like they have the walls up, and outside that wall, it's massive destruction and discourse, or maybe there's an underchain, or like an underlevel to it, or even if there isn't that, right? Even if the location doesn't look as dark and grim as some of the locations look, like if you go to where Inferno Rider is, or Memphis, Memphis, or whatever, that doesn't mean they've lost the plot. Storytelling has multi-layers, right? Multiple layers. It's a multi-layer process when you're developing a video game. And to just keep it surface level by this is evil and it looks evil and that's what it is. If that's what you want, I think you are in the wrong genre of video games, because these games are trying to do something different. Now, again, their execution is not perfect. Look at Penacony. Penacony was horrible. I truly believe that. But I find more intrigue when I'm looking at this. I'm saying, okay, we're supposed to be in a location that is pretty much distraught. There's so much depression going on. There's all these crazy things. And we walk into something like here where they're talking about rich families, rich peoples. I think that is more interesting. Now, you could make the argument, well, that plot point is very basic, and which is fine, because like, oh, everything looks so happy-go-lucky. Then you realize it isn't. Okay, cool. But then my counter argument to is how many more times are they going to do the same thing? And then you're going to complain, right? Because now they're listening to feedback of people saying the world needs to feel more lively. It needs to feel like a whole new, different type of region. And they're doing that, and they're getting criticism for it. So I just think it's so silly. I think it is so dumb, where we are just taking this to a whole different level of like, I don't know, man. Woo fell off. And it's like, brother, and I'm going to make a separate video in a minute or two going over the drip marketing more in depth. But I will say, the drip marketing, again, from the character designs I think are objectively beautiful, but there's more colors to it. They look happier. Well, not her face, but I mean like the more vibrant colors and just like all the things going on. It's like, okay, this looks like this looks very different. It's not to what we normally had previously. And to that, I say, give them a moment, right? Give them a moment. This is a story that they're able to develop from the ground up, that they don't have to rewrite a million times, and they're going in, and I have hope. Maybe I'll eat my words in like 3 months. I'm like, this is the most dog water story of all time. But I truly believe that we are actually in a position to get a better region and a better gameplay experience and story experience from Vanilla Wuwa, from 1.0 to 1.4. I truly believe this region, if executed correctly, can absolutely blow out everything else we've seen. So this whole notion of, oh, it's too bright, it's too happy, the colors, Ethan, they're not the same in this one trailer with Yang Yang, and you don't see buildings cut in half and the railroad. How do you not see the rail? Like, all right, bro, enough is enough. So I think posts like this are really just cringe. And again, when a majority of the fan base specifically asked for more colors and for things to be different, and now they're delivering, people are now complaining. And obviously, you can never please everyone. But if you're going in with the mindset, oh, this isn't the game I started with, just give it a chance. Just give it a chance. Dark and depressing does not just have to look monotone and gray with blood everywhere. Like, just hold up, big fella. Slow it down and wait to see what happens. Because I think we're gonna all be pleasantly surprised. I am a Hoyo shill. Okay, goodbye.